Gemini, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Gemini love reading. In this Gemini reading today, we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest here in January 2025. We're going to do that by getting one card to represent the mutual point of interest between the two of you. I'm going to get 3 cards for you, Gemini, 3 cards for your person, and then I'm going to clarify everything with the second deck just to make sure we can get down to the bottom of the unknown truth about what's really going on in this love connection of yours. So let's get started. Let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest between Gemini and their romantic person of interest here in January 2025. Okay, what's going on with you, Gemini? What's going on with Gemini as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them in January 2025, please? Okay, these two came out together at the end, and I got one in here that's flipped up. Okay. All right, what's going on with your person, Gemini? What's going on with Gemini's romantic person of interest as it relates to Gemini and the connection between them in January 2025? Okay, what do we got? Where'd you go? Trying to hide from me. Let's see. All right. Overall energy of this reading, 7 of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This is a period of time for one of 2 reasons. Either it's about pausing to reflect and take stock of this connection between the two of you, take stock of the situation you're finding yourselves in. It's about trying to decide, is this ever going to turn into the 10 of Pentacles that I really want, where we're building our lives together, maximum stability, maximum abundance, maximum prosperity? Is it ever going to turn into that? Is this worth me continuing to invest my time, effort, and energy into it? Or is this something that's not ever going to pan out to be the way I want it to, and maybe I should just cut my losses and move on? So it can be that period of time where you're pausing to think about that kind of stuff and ask those kind of hard questions. It can also represent a period of time where the seeds got planted on something, and it would be that lag time from when you plant the seed to when you can harvest something from it. So like if you go plant an apple seed in your yard right now, you're not going to get apples tomorrow morning. There's a big lag time there. The tree has to grow, it has to blossom, it has to get fruit on it, the fruit has to ripen. So there's this big waiting period from when you plant the seeds on something to when it actually pans out the way you want it to. So it can be that period of time as well. Hell, it could be both of those together here. One of you could be contemplating whether or not I want to keep going in this or cut my losses, and the other one could have already planted seeds somewhere and waiting on that to bear fruit, so to speak. Right under that, I have Strength, which is the Leo Major Arcana card. This card tells me that you're going through a very difficult situation right now. It's probably taking all of your internal strength in order to make it through this. You have the strength to make it through it. You're just being forced to dig down deep inside yourself and find it and tap into that strength. It can also represent a person who's trying to tame this beast inside themselves. They've got these urges or these desires or these impulses, and this would be them trying to contain that, trying to hold themselves back, rein themselves in, not let themselves make some kind of a mistake, like struggling against a piece of themselves. And then I have the Hierophant in the background. This is Taurus Major Arcana energy. This is a card of being committed to something bigger than yourself. In a relationship reading, this would be being fully committed to the relationship. This is a card of like taking it to the next level of like living together, engagements, weddings. Like this is a marriage card here. So there's some sort of a heavy duty commitment in the background, but in front of it is this difficult time that we're going through, or someone trying to rein themselves in because they're in a commitment, and there's a period of time here ahead of all of that. So that's the gist of what this is going to talk about. We might have to come back to that more as we go along, but this mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in January 2025, Gemini. Doesn't always affect you both the same way. Sometimes they do this and you feel the consequences of it, or even vice versa. Sometimes they say or do something and it causes you to feel or act this way, or vice versa. Sometimes it can be just some external event that's affecting you. But we have the Two of Pentacles as the shared energy for you guys here in January 2025. This is Capricorn energy. Twos are choices, and this would be a choice about something in the physical world where I have these two physical options here and I can't have both of them. And I'm like weighing my options and I'm looking at the pros and cons and I'm asking questions like, do I or don't I? Do I take this one or that one? Should I or shouldn't I? It's some element where I'm like back and forth about something and I can't quite make up my mind. And it's like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not fully committed kind of an energy. This is also a card that can sometimes indicate someone is juggling more than one person. So let's clarify this and see what else we can find out here. Tell me more about this Two of Pentacles. Why is that the shared energy for Gemini, a romantic person of interest? Okay, I got a couple in the deck still. Where do we go here? Making me dig for stuff, and that's usually a sign that someone's not being super forthcoming here. Like trying to pull teeth to get answers out of them, kind of a feeling I'm getting. Okay, underlying this Two of Pentacles, like choice or juggling energy, I have the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth and clarity. It's the sword of victory. It's the sword you make decisions with. Like the Latin word that decision comes from literally means to cut off. And this is the sword you cut off one of these other options, and then you're left with only one option, and that's how a decision gets made. This could also be the sword you would use to sever a relationship or to cut someone out of your life or to cut something out of your life that's not right for you anymore. Okay, I'm not liking this. I got the Devil right under that. This is Capricorn's major arcana card. This is usually a heavy toxic energy. It's usually obsession or addiction or a feeling of being trapped by something and feeling like I can't escape from it, feeling like I'm not in control. This other thing has control of me. A lot of times this will be an element of someone's shadow. In other words, a piece of themselves that they don't like and they don't want you to see it and they don't want other people to see it and they don't want to see it themselves. So they repress it and they kind of like push it down and pretend like it's not there, but it is there. When I talked about strength being like trying to rein yourself in and hold yourself back from this urge or this desire that you have and not trying to not act on it, this would be the thing that's calling the shots in the background. This would be some sort of an urge or desire, maybe even something that's like unconsciously driving something here, but not from a good place. It's unconsciously driving the decisions here, or it's presenting a different truth than the reality. These are the same two people from the Lovers card, but here they've got chains around their neck and they can't leave. They're not here because they want to be. They're kind of trapped in this situation, or at least they think they are. The loops around their neck are actually big enough they could pull it over their head, but they don't realize that. So they stay stuck in some toxic thing, and they've grown horns and tails because they've been in this distorted energy for so long that it's starting to distort them. It's starting to change who they are. This is looking like somebody who has a problem and they're aware that they have a problem. I've got the Chariot behind that, Cancer's major arcana card. This is the fastest moving energy in the deck. Well, at least it's supposed to be. It's like trying to overcome obstacles and problems and challenges and stuff that's in the way and trying to get past all that just through willpower alone. And then move forward successfully very quickly. But there's like an imbalance present in the card. You have a black sphinx and a white sphinx. That represents the dark side or the shadow side of someone. And this represents the light side of them. And the driver has no reins, so he can't control this thing except through his will. And if he's not in alignment, if both of those parts of himself aren't pulling in the same direction, this thing's every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man and it won't go anywhere. Or worse yet, it will rip itself in half as it tries to move forward because they pull in different directions here. There's definitely a shadow element involved here. There's underlying will to overcome this, but this is also feeling like there's some massive imbalance. and this is in control, and it feels like the overcoming it is below it. It's like not quite there. When I clarify this Two of Pentacles, either this physical choice between two things I can't have both of, or juggling two people, I get Death, the Page of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands. I would consider 3 out of the 4 of these cards completion energies here. I got 2 tens and Death, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I also have the Ten of Wands as your person's first card, Gemini. Death is the Scorpio Major Arcana card. This is an ending to something. It's something dying so it can be reborn again in a different way. This is usually an ending that has a painful transition period after it, or a painful transformation period following it. Sometimes I get this card when something new is trying to come into someone's life and it doesn't have room to fit because the place the new thing belongs in is already occupied by something else. And the thing occupying the space is in fact dead already. The person just hasn't released it and let it go yet to make room for something new. That could be what we have going on. We've got some decision here, and possibly somebody spending some time contemplating whether or not I even want to continue in this, and then probably making a decision to cut something away, maybe out of some unhealthy desire that they have, some imbalance that they've got going on. This sometimes can be an energy of getting the hell out of Dodge too, like just getting in the car and going and see ya. Next, I have the Page of Cups, which is news and messages and communications about love and emotions, expressing feelings, lovey-dovey messages, flirtatious behavior. This could be communicating with someone here. This can also sometimes represent an apology. Can even represent sleight of hand in the sense that there's a fish in this guy's cup and he doesn't want you to look at him. He's trying to distract you to look over here at the fish in my cup so you don't see what I'm really up to. That could be what's going on. I've got 10 of Pentacles here. I did see something related to the Hierophant here where there's this difficult thing in front of the Hierophant, the commitment. Man, and potentially trying to rein myself in because I'm in a commitment. I've got waiting here behind that. Yeah, and another card that could indicate we got a marriage or at least a combined together life. And then another card that would indicate severing that. Okay, this is not looking good here. This is the combining together of two people or two families and all their assets and resources to build this stable, abundant, prosperous home life that we all want. This is most people's goal in the physical world. This would be like combining lives together, building a life together. I get this card a lot for people when they're living together or engaged or married or kind of going down the path toward that stuff. And it's looking like there's some commitment here. Next, I have the 10 of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy of a heavy burden that's being carried. It's something that's weighing you down. It's holding you back. It's a 10, though, and 10s are completions. So this is supposed to be the completion of the burden. In other words, getting to the spot where I can lay this burden down and move on without it. This is really looking like someone contemplating ending the relationship. And I don't know yet if it's you contemplating that or if it's them contemplating that. But that's what it's looking like. I will freely admit at this early stage, this is kind of like a murder mystery to me. I get little clues along the way. And as the reading develops, then I start to figure it out. And right now, I'm not 100% on what this is trying to tell me. So I'm going to come back to this again as I go through your energy, Gemini, because then I can see how that applies to you. I will come back to it again as I go through your person's energy so I can see how it relates to them. But that's the shared energy. For you, Gemini, the first card is the most important. You got the 4 of Swords. Central to your energy is the Moon. And your final card came out as 2. We got the Star and the 6 of Cups. Okay. 4 of Swords is Libra energy. This is an energy of taking a pause, taking a break, taking a rest. It's about like trying to go inside yourself to heal something or go inside yourself to do some thinking to figure out what to do moving forward. because this is about like taking a break. Sometimes people will break up and they don't like officially label it as a breakup. They call it like, well, we're on a break right now, or we're taking a break, or a timeout, or whatever they want to word it. You know, this is kind of sometimes that kind of an energy. It's also a 4, and 4s are about stability, and swords are about the mind. So this would be stabilizing the thoughts, stabilizing the mind, like trying to calm the mind down so you can hear your internal guidance. It's like chill out so you can figure out what to do kind of an energy here. See, I've got what feels like 2 cards looking at me right now about waiting, and then some burden here. Potentially waiting on an apology, waiting on making up. Is that going to happen? Is that not going to happen? Is this really dead or not? Let's see what we got here. Tell me more about 4 of Swords. Why is the 4 of Swords the first card for Gemini? Okay, well. Underlying this 4 of Swords, Judgment. This is the most powerful decision card in the deck. We just had the Ace of Swords on the bottom, the sword you make decisions with. I've got the choice here that someone's back and forth about. This is the final decision. This is passing a final verdict and judgment on something in a relationship reading. This is either A, we're calling it dead and over with, and there is no coming back from this, or B, we're going to resurrect it and we're going to call it back from the grave and bring it back to life and transform it so it's never this way again. Some sort of a decision here. This could be you trying to figure out what the decision is and trying to calm your mind down so you can figure it out. Or this could be you waiting to hear what the decision is. I'm not sure yet. If this is either A, we're calling it dead, or B, we're going to bring it back to life. This is looking like, from your point of view, we would like to bring it back to life. I've got the 3 of Cups right behind it. This is Cancer energy. This is about being reunited and celebrating, or even being united to begin with and celebrating. It can also represent a third-party love triangle, though, because we do have 3 cups of love in the picture here. So there could be judgment being passed because there's a third party, and maybe we're on a break, or maybe we're on a break when the third party comes in. I'm not 100% sure yet. But this is looking like, from your perspective, wanting to bring it back to life and get reunited. And I'm thinking that this might be a little bit of a dual message here. I'm feeling like if that's what you're thinking, is like, we want to bring this back to life and get reunited, I think this card is telling you to slow your roll and hold your horses. The Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck. It's about rushing forward and making this rapid, decisive action on something. This is usually the kind of person who doesn't think things through first. They don't think about it before they do it. They just do it, and then they think about it after it's too late. It's like impulsive type of an energy here. Like, not look before you leap, but leap before you look, almost. And I think this is saying slow your roll on this idea of trying to get back together. Calm your mind down and think this through more. From the other part of the message, I'm feeling it could be that judgment got passed already, and this has been called dead and over with already because there was a third party, possibly on a break, and that person didn't think things through first. Whew. This is feeling heavy. When I clarify 4 of Swords, I get the Magician, 6 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 4 of Swords again. What I want to see in a love reading is a bunch of cups, like for love and emotions. And what I don't want to see is a bunch of swords. I don't want to see death either, honestly. I got death out here. I've got a sword as your first card, 3 more swords in the clarifiers. I got a sword over here, and I got the moon coming up next for you. Something's off. Something's bad off here. The Magician is the Mac Daddy Master Manifester of the Tarot deck. This is a person who has all the tools, abilities, and resources to shape the world around them to be in alignment with what their will desires. It's about a person's thoughts and actions creating the world around them. This could be that you're trying to manifest like some decision here, maybe to resurrect this. This could be you're trying to manifest, trying to calm yourself down and figure out what to do. But more likely what this is telling me is it's talking about the person whose thoughts and actions created this whole situation that I'm reading about, which looks like it would be your person here. Next, I have the Six of Swords. This is Aquarius energy. I don't know if this Four of Swords is Libra energy. I've got a little Pisces out here, a little more Aquarius, some Scorpio, some Taurus, some Sag, some Capricorn, some Sagittarius, some Virgo, some Scorpio again, a little bit more Libra. You could be dealing with any of those signs. Like I did see a Leo card here, another Taurus card underneath that. You could be dealing with any sign. This is a general collective reading, so it's going to be almost impossible for me to pin down exactly who you are dealing with, because I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person the same way I would if I was doing a personal reading for you and it's just me and you one-on-one. Here I'm tapping into thousands of Gemini people all at the same time. So because I won't necessarily be able to tell exactly who you're dealing with, I'm just going to continue to call all these signs out as they stick out to me, just in case they mean anything to you. But this is Aquarius energy. Six of Swords is about moving forward into calmer waters. It's about leaving these rough, choppy waters of the past behind you and moving forward into the future. At its core, this is about moving away from pain and moving forward. It's about moving away from this painful thing that has already happened and leaving that behind you. And the choice you have about moving forward is kind of an implied one here. It's like, do you carry the burden, like this burden that this painful thing has caused, into your future with you so it continues to weigh you down and hold you back? Or do you carry forward the lesson you learned from going through this painful experience forward with you? That way nothing like this ever happens again. But there is an element of something painful has already happened at this stage, and this is you moving forward away from it. And it's looking like your person created whatever the painful thing was. This is the Six of Swords. The painful thing is the Five of Swords, like a mentally, psychologically painful situation or event, a betrayal, something where it wasn't fair. It's something like that you're moving away from. And I'm clarifying the Four of Swords, and the card that's missing is that Five, but in its place I have the person who created the situation here. So it's feeling like your person. Next I have the Three of Swords, which is Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness, usually from a third energy. The third energy is not always a romantic third party, although it definitely can be. Feels like it might be in this case. That third energy can be any number of things, like nosy friends, family members, neighbors, co-workers, anybody that's not you or this person sticking their nose where it doesn't belong, causing some kind of a problem, can be the third energy. Working too much, partying too much, traveling too much, like anything we do enough of is going to pick up its own energy, and that can become the third energy. But we've got something causing some sort of a heartbreaking thing, even attached to the idea of leaving it behind and moving forward seems to be heartbreaking. Then I've got the Four of Swords again, which is the card that I'm clarifying right now. And whenever I'm clarifying a card and I get the same card in the clarifiers, that's the universe beating me over the head like, dude, I done told you. We're on a pause. We're on a break. This is like advice to calm your mind down so you can figure out what to do here. It's almost like it's telling me that you're too in your head without giving me any of the cards that would normally indicate someone is in their head. And they seem to be the source of all of this mental that you're having here. Central for your energy, Gemini, is the moon. This is Pisces energy of fear, worry, anxiety, usually based on uncertainty. Like when the moon's out and it's dark outside, you can't see the full path ahead of you. So it's really easy to get a little confused and be like, man, am I even on the right path or not? Was this the right path for me to begin with? Did I make a wrong turn? Should I turn around and go back? So like that level of uncertainty is enough to cause fear, worry, and anxiety in you. It can also represent, because when the moon's out and it's dark outside, your eyes can play tricks on you, so it can represent illusions. Things can be hidden in the dark. It can represent secrets being kept. Let's see what's going on with this moon. It usually represents there's more to what's going on than what you actually know. What's going on with the moon here? What is the Moon Central for Gemini's energy. Underlying that, the Devil. Again, Capricorn's major arcana card. There's something toxic going on. There's something unhealthy going on here. There's probably toxicity in the connection. I know there's toxicity with your person. Part of what this card is about is that it's the Lover's card is referenced here. This is card 15 of the major arcana. And in numerology, you take the double digit numbers like 15, 1, and 5, and you add those together to get 6. Well, 6 is the Lover's card. That card is about the interconnectedness between people. Like, you can't make decisions when you're in a love connection with somebody without those decisions affecting them and vice versa. And this is kind of the same thing in a sense of toxicity. You cannot be chained to a person who is in a toxic environment without getting that toxicity on you. You can't be in a relationship with someone who has toxicity inside them without getting it inside of yourself too. There's something underlying this situation that's not healthy. Now, this can represent you don't see the toxicity of what's going on here. It can represent the toxicities being hidden from you. It's being kept secret, that there's some internal drive or urge that your person has that you're not aware of. It could be that. There's that desire to overcome it. It could just totally be that there's a level of obsession about this connection, a feeling of like there's so much pull to this connection that I can't escape from it, and I almost feel trapped and stuck by it. And maybe you're uncertain about what to do because you can't get away from them. It's possible, but I got the Chariot behind that, Cancer's major arcana card, like the underlying desire to overcome the obstacles. And again, like this is in your energy, and I realize that most of it's talking about them, but this could be you have some toxic level of drive to overcome the problems. I saw it telling you to hold your horses when it came to like resurrecting it and getting back together. I'm wondering if maybe your level of wanting to overcome this challenge with this person isn't bordering on some unhealthy level here. Almost like obsessed about doing that. I've got the 5 of Pentacles. This is probably what you're trying to overcome. This is Taurus energy. 5s are conflict. This is an abandonment. This is being cast aside, being left out in the cold, discarded. Sometimes this can mean being made to feel like you're not good enough for some reason, and maybe even starting to believe that. This is a breakup energy. And it's all shrouded in illusion or being hidden. Oh, man. When I clarify the moon, I get the 8 of Cups, King of Pentacles, 10 of Swords. The 8 of Cups is Pisces energy. This is emotionally detaching, physically detaching and walking away. The person is walking away from 8 full cups of love because they think there's something better out there for them. This is probably you feeling your person emotionally start to detach here. This is usually a person having like the grass might be greener on the other side of the fence syndrome, or they think there's some better opportunity and I got to go find out if it is indeed better or not. It's sitting right beside the person who created the situation I'm reading about, and it's shrouded in darkness and mystery and being hidden is what it looks like. Or there's something that you didn't see about when they started acting emotionally detached and distant. I believe it's them. I got the King of Pentacles here. This would be Virgo or Taurus energy, depending on what side of that line you're on here. This is like husband type of an energy. This would be half of the equation that builds the 10 of Pentacles, which we've got out here in the shared energy. The other half would be the Queen. I'm missing the Queen. I've got a burden tied to this idea of either stability and abundance and finances, or a burden tied to the idea of being combined together. And I've got the person that would fulfill the role of like building a life around you emotionally detaching and probably walking away to see if the grass is greener. It's also tied to this energy of the Six of Swords here, this leaving something in the past and moving away from it and moving forward into calmer waters. Also, a painful thing has already happened at this stage. Final clarifier I have for the moon is the Ten of Swords. This is Gemini energy. This is a swift, painful ending. Sometimes this is an ending you didn't see coming, which is why the swords are in your back. It kind of snuck up on you. Sometimes this is an ending in betrayal, hence the swords in the back, getting stabbed in the back. It's right beside this Three of Swords, heartbreak and sadness from a third energy. The only thing with it that has, or the only thing that has nothing to go with it in the row yet, is this Four of Swords, this idea of pause, break, calm your mind down so you can figure out what to do. The final card in your energy came out as 2. We got the Star and the Six of Cups. The Star is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. The Six of Cups is a Scorpio energy. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. Usually this card means that you've got the hope that we can heal this situation, that we can fix it, that we can get back to the past here, the way it used to be between the two of us. That's kind of what this card is about. This Star card is also the card that comes after the Tower in the sequence of the Major Arcana. So you don't make it to the Star without going through a Tower moment of some kind first, where some important thing in your life comes crashing down all around you. It's like a game changer. Nothing's the same after that happens, and then it's hard to see the way moving forward from there. And this is the guiding light from the universe that lights the path for you so you can see the way forward. It's where hope and healing come from. And this is telling me that you need to heal something because you've been hurt here in this ending. But this is also probably telling me that you still are maintaining the hope that we can fix this. And it's pulling me back to the bottom of the deck here with the Devil and this Chariot, the idea of overcoming the problem and getting past it and continuing to move forward. Seems like a toxic idea. It seems like a bad for you idea. And this is starting to feel like you have the hope based on the past and the history between the two of you. And you want to heal this and get it back to the way that it used to be. This is usually a deep emotional connection. It can also reference something from the past happening again or coming back up again. It can even reference a person from the past making a comeback. Now, if you guys are split up, which it looks like you are, technically this Six of Cups could represent them as the person from the past. Let me clarify it and see what else I can find out. Why is the Star and the Six of Cups the final card for Gemini? January 2025. Okay, what do we have here? You... Try and keep these in the right order here. Okay. Underlying this energy, Three of Cups. Cancer energy, being reunited and celebrating. Getting back together. This is reconciliation energy. Now, let me clarify that, because it's not that I'm saying you are getting back together. I'm saying that's what you're hoping for. To get back to the past, to heal this, and to get reunited. This can also represent a third-party love triangle, because there are 3 cups of love in the picture. And I felt that right at the beginning with this energy of potentially juggling 2 people. I've got flirtatious behavior. I've got the 3 of Swords here. The moon, something being hidden. I've got what looks like either a complete ending or a betrayal happening. I don't actually have the 5 of Swords, but this little story right here told me about the 5 of Swords. I've got the 2 of Pentacles again. Son of a... Behind that 3 of Cups is Judgment again. The final decision. Dead and over with, or resurrect it and bring it back. This is looking to me like if you had the big red magic easy button and you could just push it and make it any way you want it to be, we'd be getting back together. Yeah, there's a commitment here. It wouldn't surprise me if you're married to this person. You don't necessarily have to be married. You just probably, at the minimum, you're fully committed to them and their relationship. Yeah, I've got the Lovers behind that. like I said, this is more about, it's less about a love connection like everybody thinks, and it's more about the interconnectedness between people. Like, it used to literally be called the choice before it was labeled the lovers. There's definitely a choice about this connection. The Hierophant, the commitment, is surrounded by the most powerful decision card, Judgment, and a card that used to be called the choice. Now, this can be a choice about the connection between the two of you. It can even be a choice between two different lovers here in the Wheel of Fortune. Like, this is a change in luck and fortune. If things were going great, this would indicate that things are about to take a left turn into the telephone pole unexpectedly. If things have been going bad, this can be a sign that we're trying to turn things around and get back on track, get back on course, straighten out here. I think that's what you're looking for. This is also sometimes an energy of like fate and destiny, or at least someone believing that this is the way things are supposed to be. Is us being in a committed relationship and resurrecting this and getting back together. That's what's supposed to happen, and that's what you're hoping for, is what it looks like. When I clarify the Star and the Six of Cups, I get the Five of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Nine of Cups. Normally get 3 clarifiers. I just got 5 here. The Five of Cups is Scorpio energy. Again, fives are conflict. This is sadness and remorse about the past. It's being focused on the past, being focused on these 3 cups that have been spilled, and that represents all the love and emotions that have been spilled and wasted. It represents being together, and now we're not, and it's all been spilled and wasted. There are still 2 upright cups in the background, which can mean that you still feel a connection for this person, even though everything is spilled between the two of you. At its core, this card is about whatever you focus on is literally going to dictate to you what emotions you feel. And here the person's focused on the past, so they feel what they felt in the past. I've got you having hope that we can heal this tied to the past and the history of the connection and the way things used to be. And this is being focused on that, and it's not that way anymore. And feeling that. It's about like focused on what you don't have and feeling what's missing, focused on the loss of something and feeling the loss. The 2 cups in the background, the fact that you still feel this connection is what's keeping your focus here on what you're missing now. Like having the hope that we're going to get back to this and get back together, even though whatever's happened has happened. I have a strong feeling there's still stuff you don't know about. But maintaining the level of hope is not always a good thing. Like sometimes hope's the only thing that gets us through, but sometimes hope is the thing that keeps us focused in the wrong spot and prevents us from moving forward. The card that's right beside it, if I take this as advice for you, the Eight of Cups is about recognizing that this person isn't capable of giving you any more than 8. 8 cups is the best they can do. And if you want your 9th cup, the personal happiness and wish fulfillment, if you want your 10th cup, like the happily ever after, that love connection where someone's pouring themselves into you every bit as much as you're pouring yourself into them and you both feel fully loved and accepted, if that's what you're after, this person isn't capable of giving that to you. And this is about recognizing that and making the very difficult conscious choice to walk away from what you have to go down a new path that can lead you to your 9th and your 10th cup. Like the Magician would mean that you have the abilities to do this. It's just you have to put your mind to it and you have to take the actions. This is about your thoughts and your actions shaping the world that you live in. And right now, the world you live in doesn't feel very good because of where your focus is. The next card I have to clarify this is the Two of Pentacles. Again, that's the shared energy affecting you both. This is 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of an energy. It's a choice about these 2 options, and I can't pick both. I have to choose one. Do I stay? Do I go? Is this ever going to turn into what I want? Or do I cut my losses and move on? And it's like grappling with that decision because there is a commitment in the background. And there's probably been from you this energy of, okay, well, let's wait and see. I know what I want. I want us to get back together. Let's wait and see if it develops or not, because we already have like a combined together life. But the next card down is that Queen of Swords, like the severing of a connection here. This can also, like I said, represent juggling two people, and it's tied to the King of Pentacles, which would be your person in this case. And it looks like maybe them leaving you behind. It's what this is looking like to me. Eight of Pentacles is next. This is Virgo energy of work, putting in the work, time, effort, and energy on something to get what it is that I want. This is probably you maintaining hope and wanting to work on the connection and try to rebalance it and get the balance back. The problem is you're working on something that's already dead here. Death is the first clarifier for that Two of Pentacles. And now I've got the idea of working on it attached to the 10 of Swords. I don't know. It doesn't take 10 swords to kill a dude, but there's 10 swords in this dude. He ain't coming back. This is not a case where he's going to go get some stitches and be fine tomorrow. And it really feels like that no amount of work here is going to fix this. There's too much heartbreak and sadness tied to it. There was an ending you didn't see coming. Probably a betrayal happened here. I don't think working on that is going to change the fact that there's 10 swords in it. The Death card is like something has died, and this is the transition period that follows it. And yeah, it sucks going through it, but you're going to come out the other side better than you were. Think of a butterfly. Like, it starts out as a little caterpillar, an ugly worm with hair on it, and it goes into a cocoon. And when it comes out, it's a beautiful butterfly. So it comes out better than it was when it went in. Like before the cocoon thing happened, it comes out better than that. But going through the cocoon, going through that metamorphosis, that transformation is painful. And that's what this represents. Next, I have the Fool, which is the first card of the major arcana, the first card of the whole tarot deck, card 0. This is about a new beginning at something where you don't necessarily know what all the steps are from beginning to end before you take the first step. You don't know what the final outcome is going to be before you take the first step. And this is just about taking the first step anyway. It's just going for it, saying, screw it. I'm going to leap off this cliff and I'm going to worry about how to grow wings on my way down. I will figure this out as I go. Now, it can also represent foolish behavior, taking unnecessary risks, taking risks outside of a connection. I'm getting the strong feeling that your person had someone else here. And this is probably you saying, like, screw it, let's just work on it. Let's figure out how to fix it. And I don't know that that's the right thing, because when your first card was the Four of Swords, like calming your mind down so you can think, or so you can hear your internal guidance, and your mind is too chattery. And it's right across the aisle again from the Four of Swords here. Like there's a gap in the middle here between calm yourself down and leaping off the cliff. There's some element of a void, some missing data that you don't have. And that is in the column with the moon at the top of it. Something hidden from you. I think there's possibility that you don't know the full extent of what was going on with your person. And because you don't know that, you still think that there's the ability to heal this and to work on it and to fix it. But I think if you knew what that piece of missing information was, that wouldn't even be an option that's on the table anymore. 9 of Cups is the final clarifier for you, Gemini. This is Pisces energy. This is personal happiness, personal wish fulfillment. It's also a singles energy. It's a step backwards from the 10 of Cups that we all want, that happy fairy tale ending, that happy fairy tale love connection that we all dream about. This is a step backwards from that. This is single, emotionally single energy. The real message of this is like, you don't need another person to make you whole. You're already whole. You don't need another person to make you happy, because your happiness comes from inside of you. Your worthiness of love doesn't come from another person. It comes from inside of you. This is not saying like to stay single and to not have any emotional attachment with anyone or to not want to be in a relationship. That's not what this is about. This is about recognizing that all of that stuff that we put on the other person, like they make me happy. No, they don't make you happy. Happiness is a chemical that you create in your physiology and it affects your brain. I can't make you happy. This person can't make you happy. No one else on the planet can make you happy other than you. Like you're the one that creates that chemical. Happiness comes from within, not from externally. And this is about recognizing that. And when you are truly in this 9 of Cups state where you make yourself happy and you make yourself feel loved and you make yourself feel worthy, you're not even really thinking about another relationship. You're happy and content in and of yourself, like doing your own thing. And relationship is usually the farthest thing from your mind. It doesn't even cross your mind. But that is when you attract a person that is right for you. Because this is like, it also represents the absence of neediness, the absence of emotional lack. When you're in, the 5 of Cups and you're still stuck on this thing from your past, or you're still stuck on this person that you don't have anymore, and you're still stuck on the connection you feel, you're projecting a shit ton and a half of lack. And this is how you attract to you a person who also isn't whole, who doesn't love themselves because they too are stuck on something from their past. And they too have this other connection or choices about connections behind their back. This is not how you get to the 10 of Cups. The way you get to the real 10 of Cups, like true love and real happily ever after, is you got to be in the 9 of Cups where you don't lack anything. You don't need anything from anyone. You're not projecting a lack of love for yourself into the universe, so the universe doesn't mirror back to you a person in this condition who can't love you because they don't love themselves either. This is about getting yourself right. If there's any work to be done, any work that you should be jumping headfirst into, it should be related to yourself and loving yourself and working on your self-worth and your own worthiness and basically training the universe how you want to be treated and how you want to be loved. So at the beginning here, I had this one card that had nothing to go with it. And now it's got the Fool on the opposite side here, with a gap in the middle, this thing that you're missing, this thing that you don't see. It's telling you again, hey, don't leap off the cliff just yet because you're missing a piece. Now, the one card I have here that has nothing to go with it is this idea of self-love and pouring yourself into yourself with the same level of enthusiasm that you pour yourself into other people. Like, love yourself that hard is what that feels like it's saying. Now, part of what this could be saying is your person was juggling 2 people. They were putting in work somewhere that you were not aware of and putting in work on causing an ending because there is a third energy involved causing the heartbreaking situation. It could be that your person was taking unnecessary risks or foolish risks outside of your connection. And maybe they were following their own personal happiness and wish fulfillment, like following their own jollies, and that's what led to all this. But there is this idea here of contemplating things and trying to figure out, do I continue putting in the work and the time, effort, and energy on this? Or is this really dead and over with? And maybe it's time for me to focus myself inward and move on from this. Realize it's a difficult thing, especially if you're married or in a very heavy duty commitment, but there's this period of time of waiting here. So I've got waiting again. Your first column, your first card, most important, is another kind of a waiting energy. And that column even ends with the same card, another waiting energy. I feel like at this stage, you have probably waited and waited and waited for things to turn out the way that you want. And it probably still hasn't happened yet, at least based on what I'm seeing so far. Let's scoot this over, get some more room. I think that's probably part of the burden that you're carrying. The center card in your first column is that implied choice. Do I carry the burden that this painful situation has caused into my future so it continues to weigh me down? Or do I leave that behind and carry the lesson forward? The burden is here. Now that we're looking at your person's energy, the burden is also there too. The Ten of Wands is their first most important card, central to their energy. Ace of Pentacles, final card for them, is the Page of Swords. Ten of Wands, again, is Sagittarius energy. It's in the shared energy. Heavy burden being carried. Something that's weighing you down, holding you back. Or they also have something weighing them down and holding them back. And I wouldn't be surprised again if we start seeing that Devil card here in a minute. What's going on with this Ten of Wands? What is it? Really? Okay, where did you go here? Underlying that, Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy. Abandonment, being cast aside, being left out in the cold, being walked away from, discarded. This is a breakup energy. Chariot again, this idea of trying to overcome the obstacles. This is also, though, like, get the hell out of Dodge feeling to it as well. But there's that imbalance here, this possibly an internal conflict with your person, possibly a conflict between the two of you, which might be why there's a burden they have attached here, and this idea of abandonment, and the idea of it's dead and over with, and a burden tied to this combined together life. Maybe it's stopping them from being flirtatious. Maybe it's stopping them from acting on the things that they kind of want to do. Might be why I see this idea of trying to rein myself in and hold myself back, contain myself. This might be a case of where they're pulling in one direction and you're pulling in a different direction. There's the Devil again. This is what's deep-seated and underlying. This is like unconscious level stuff. This might be a piece that you don't know about. Maybe they don't show it to you, but this is a feeling of being trapped, feeling like something has control over me. Probably an element of toxic to the person. This is a lot of times will be something where someone got hurt really bad emotionally at some stage and they didn't heal from it all the way. They just kind of like repressed it and pushed it down and pretended like everything's fine and tried to move forward like nothing happened. But something did happen and they weren't fine and they didn't heal. And now, like that, their pain has a message it's trying to deliver to you. Every time you feel pain, there's a message to it. And most of the time we'll try to ignore that message, but that doesn't make it go away. It just pushes it down deeper. And then it starts to become an unconscious thing where now you're going to listen to me now, because now I can slide under your radar and I can slide underneath your conscious awareness and cause you to do stuff without you realizing you're doing it. Or even realize why you're doing it sometimes. This is also an energy of a person who doesn't know their own strength. Like they don't realize how much damage they can cause in the world, which is why the Strength card comes next. The lady represents your conscience, like your ability to tell right from wrong, your ability to tame that piece of yourself that wants to go all crazy and do stuff that you shouldn't do. And I don't think this person has that, because the next card for them is the Devil. They've got the thing that's driving them and they're trying to contain themselves and not listen to this, but I don't think they can. Well, clearly they can't. I think that's probably what the burden is, this Devil that's underlying things and driving their behavior here. But when I clarify that Ten of Wands, I get the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups, Four of Pentacles, Three of Wands. Everything is going regressing here. It's like nothing out of order. Every card is like the top one is the highest and the bottom one's the lowest, and it just progresses. The King of Cups, well, hey, it's Scorpio energy. Sometimes this is Pisces energy, depending on how you take that. This would be a person who probably has a lot of love and emotions for you, but they don't express it. The King of Cups doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. He doesn't publicly broadcast how he feels about things, good or bad. So this could be a person who loves you and you don't know because they don't ever tell you or show you. This could also be a person, he's got like rough, choppy water around his feet. That's rough, choppy emotions. This could be a person going through emotional turmoil, and you don't know it. They could have a lot of deep-seated stuff going on that's painful for them emotionally, and you don't know about it because they don't tell you. And they're burdened by something here. This is like keeping my mouth shut and making it so that you can't even tell something's wrong. I've got the Knight of Cups with that, which is an action taker. Here in the shared energy, we got the Page of Cups, like communications about love and emotions, flirty behavior, messages, like lovey-dovey messages. This is the stage of like thinking about it and talking about it, and this is the stage of doing something about it. This is taking actions on love and emotions, moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, going on dates, like trying to advance a cup of love in some way. And then at the same time, Four of Pentacles, Capricorn energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. That's exactly how you get yourself in a spot where you're juggling two people. I'm already in a commitment, and now I'm communicating with someone else, and I'm taking actions towards someone else. And I don't know, does this mean I don't want to let go of you, Gemini, even though I'm doing that stuff? Or does this mean I don't want to let go of that person that I'm doing that stuff with? There's definitely an ending here. And the ending is tied directly to the early stages of whatever this forward movement in love is. That's tied to the thinking about it and talking about it stage. Central, oh wait, we got one more card. We got the Three of Wands next. Aries energy of essentially waiting. In the Two of Wands, you're at this fork in the road, this decision point about what is it I really want from my life? What do I want my world to be like? And which of these two paths is going to get me there? And which path do I have to leave behind? It's that choice. Here, the choice has been made. I've already chosen what I want. I've chosen the path that I'm going to go down. I've chosen the path I'm going to leave behind. I've started taking steps down this path, taking actions, trying to create the thing that I want. This is the early stages of manifesting, and I've got the Master Manifester as your first clarifier, and I said at the beginning that felt like your person. That's what we got going on here. This is them already taking the actions and expecting the thing that they want's going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet, and I'm waiting on that to happen, and I'm not willing to let go of it. I'm holding on to it. I'm moving forward toward it, and I'm not saying anything to you about it. Central to their energies, the Ace of Pentacles. This is a physical, tangible opportunity presenting itself. A physical opportunity. Tell me more about that. Why is the Ace of Pentacles central for Gemini's person here in January 2025, please? Okay, we're going to have to go one more time. Wow. Yeah, that's not how it works, dude. Underlying this physical opportunity presenting itself, the Devil again. So this physical opportunity already feels like a physical opportunity with another person. It's like kind of hard to, like if you're talking lovey-dovey and taking actions all lovey-dovey towards somebody, the next logical step is a physical opportunity presents itself. This can sometimes be like a lot of passion and desire and like too much of that and obsessed about it. It could just be a toxic pull. It could be like a toxic shadow side of themselves where maybe they can't contain that. They try to contain it, but they can't. It's like this is where the power's at. It's in the front. Yeah, and then that leads them to abandon ship and get the hell out of Dodge, and there's the breakup again. This is, I don't know if you know that or not, but it looks like they left and they ended it, and the reason for that may not be seen to you, but the reason for it was because they had another opportunity physically somewhere. When I clarify that, Knight of Pentacles, I also don't think they could control themselves. I think something else is in control. Some deep-seated urge or drive is in control. But to clarify Ace of Pentacles, I got Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Ace of Swords. And that card is like tried to get away from me. That's the Sword of Truth. and it tried to get away. Like, I got the devil looking at me. This is like someone who's not being fully honest here. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck. It's very slow, methodical, one step at a time kind of an energy. I'm not going to skip steps. I'm not going to try to jump ahead and mess something up. I'm going to do this nice and slow and steady so it's right. It can also represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do, but doesn't do it. He's got the Ace of Pentacles in his hand, the seed of abundance, but the fields in the background are empty because he hasn't gotten off his butt and planted the seed yet. He knows he's supposed to, he just doesn't. Could also be the opposite because he knows he's not supposed to just sit here and be lazy, but that's what he's doing. So it could be a person who knows what they're not supposed to do and does it anyway. There's something that they have a lot of emotions for, and I've got two knights connected to that energy, both moving into the future. Ten of Cups is next. This is Pisces energy. This is most people's goal in love and relationships. That happily ever after, happy fairy tale romance that we all dream about. Very rarely is that what this card is talking about. It's not talking about this person has found their 10 of Cups and it's the happily ever after thing. It's true love. It's not what it feels like it's telling me. This is the card that gets more people in trouble than any other card in the deck as far as I'm concerned, because we all want this happily ever after so bad. We've been conditioned from childhood, from Disney cartoons and everything else, to believe in this happily ever after. And I'm not saying that true love doesn't exist or happily ever after doesn't exist. I'm just saying that we want this so damn bad that this is what causes us to ignore red flags, ignore bad behavior, sweep shit under the rug and pretend like it didn't happen, cling on to the hope that we can heal something because we believe that this is the 10 of Cups. It causes us to do a bunch of stupid stuff to ourselves, like self-delusional behavior most of the time. This most of the time is like the difference between how much money is in your bank account right now versus how much do you wish was in your bank account right now, and then acting as if you actually have that much in your bank account. And that's what most people do emotionally in relationships. This is the idealized view of a relationship. In other words, not looking at it for how it actually is, but looking at it for how I wish it was and how I want it to be, and then acting as if it is actually that way. That's what gets us in trouble. So your person has got the 10 of Cups showing up over here in the column with this new physical opportunity that they've got and doing stuff that they know they're not supposed to be doing. And underlying all of it is this toxic thing. You don't get the 10 of Cups and the devil together and it actually is true love. It's a facade. It's an illusion. It's a thing where this deep-seated BS that they have has convinced them that that's what they've got, but that is exactly what they're trying to move forward toward, this thing that they believe is their happily ever after. And then it leads me to the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, which I about fumbled the card here when I was first getting it out, so I don't think the truth has been forthcoming. If that's the case, then why is there an illusion or something hidden or a secret right here central for your energy? Like, something isn't jiving here. They detached for a reason, and I don't think you saw this ending coming, so I know the truth wasn't forthcoming. This could be the sword that you use to sever a connection. I've got a choice that needs to be made, and this is the card you make the choice with. You cut one off. That's how we're getting to dead and over. That's how we get to 10 of Swords. So far for them, the only thing that's got nothing in the row with it is this idea of, I know what I want. I've already started taking steps to get it. I'm at the beginning stages of manifesting it, and I just don't have it yet. This is calling back to me again, too. Severing, being tied to this idea of holding on tightly to something that I don't want to let go of. And that could be part of the burden. I've got the burden here tied to this idea of combined together life. I've got the burden in the same column here, heading off the column of holding on tightly and not wanting to let go, while I'm not telling you about my emotions and I'm already taking actions somewhere else. This could be you holding on to them and them feeling burdened by that, feeling like cutting that away or actively cutting that away, but they're waiting on what they actually want to happen. Final card for them is the Page of Swords, which is sometimes just news and messages and communicating. Can be like doing some thinking about something. It's usually an energy of a person who's trying to learn something or figure something out, thinking about it, asking questions, researching, snooping around, investigating. What I'm doing right now kind of qualifies as the Page of Swords. This could be you spying on them. This could be them trying to figure out what to do in order to sever this so I don't have to wait on this opportunity I have anymore. What to do about this burden. What to do about this choice that I've got. I do have that contemplating energy as the overall energy. Do I continue putting time, effort, and energy in this, or do I cut losses and move on and trying to rein myself in because I'm in a commitment here? But there's that waiting energy again. This could be you uncovering information at this stage. Maybe the truth did come out eventually and you figured it out, or maybe someone that knows both of you saw what was going on and came and told you about it. Let me see what's going on with this Page of Swords. This could just be them trying to figure something out. Let's get 2 more, please. What's in here? Keep them in order. Three of Cups on the bottom. Again, this could be reconciliation, getting back together, being reunited and celebrating. It could also be third-party love triangle, 3 cups of love here. Judgment. Man, this could be them trying to figure out how to tell you about this and like call this dead and over with. This could be you also showing up over here trying to figure out how to get back together and bring it back to life, and then putting the brakes on it. Hanged Man is stuck energy, like no progress is happening, no movement is happening. This is stuck. Oh man, it could also be that someone saw or you figured out that they had a third party, and then judgment was passed, and now there is no do not pass go, do not collect $200 type of a thing going on here. When I clarify Page of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, the Sun, the 2 of Cups. 6 of Pentacles is Taurus energy. This is sometimes an energy of balance, like you scratch my back and I scratch your back, and you take care of me and I take care of you, and it's equal give and take type of a thing. It could be trying to balance something out. It's also sometimes the merchant here giving to 2 people in the physical sense. And I've gotten that just from the beginning of this, juggling 2 people. It's right beside the person who knows what they're not supposed to do and is doing it anyway. Next I have the Sun, which is a Leo major arcana card. It's the happiest card in the deck. It's happiness, joy, bliss, harmony. For them, it's tied to this 10 of Cups. And that's what they're moving forward toward, advancing a love offer in some way that they believe is the 10 of Cups and the source of their happiness. Now, the other thing that the Sun can mean is it can mean illumination. It can mean something getting the light shined on it and getting exposed so you can see it. It's the card that comes immediately after the moon in the sequence of the major arcana. So when it's dark outside and something's hidden in the dark, the next step is the sun comes up and it's not dark anymore. And all that stuff that was being hidden, all those secrets get revealed, gets exposed. I can see it for what it is. I think that's what's going on here. They're getting figured out by the end of this. Final clarifier for that Page of Swords is the 2 of Cups. This is Cancer energy. It's a love connection between 2 people. It's I breathe you in, you breathe me in, we're connected. But it's a 2. And in tarot, 2s are choices. It's the overall energy here. A choice between 2 physical things that I can't have both of. I got a commitment with you. I've got this new opportunity. I've got another connection that I have a bunch of happiness tied to. I'm giving to 2 people here because I'm waiting on something to happen. That's the only card on their side that doesn't have anything to connect with it. There's something that they're waiting on. See, over here, it felt like they've already broken up with you. And here, I'm starting to feel like maybe they haven't yet, but it's coming. It's coming.